What's up, guys? Zach Ginn here, and in today's video, I'm going to give you the top 10 worst cities for wholesaling real estate. That's right, there are actually bad cities for wholesaling and ones you should absolutely avoid at all costs. So in this video, we're going to break it down, the top 10 worst cities for wholesaling. Whoa. Before we get into it, before I share with you and probably save you thousands of dollars in bad marketing, and if you live in this bad market, it's not all bad news. You can actually get into virtual wholesaling, so it's not the worst thing in the world. Before we get into it, remember, smash that like button and subscribe to get more free content from me so I can help you make your first $100,000 in real estate wholesaling absolutely for free. All right, guys, so the top 10 worst wholesaling cities. You might be asking yourself, Zach, you could wholesale in any city, and honestly, it's the truth. There's wholesaling deals done in basically every single city in the United States. And honestly, you could wholesale from anywhere, but really in physical wholesaling, if you're in one of these cities, you should just avoid it. I think you should just get into virtual wholesaling and just cut your losses from here. So without further ado, let's break it down. I don't want to waste any of your time. So let's get into it. Top 10 worst wholesaling cities. Honorable mention. So I couldn't fit the worst, all the bad cities in there. I'm very sorry, but I just couldn't fit them all in. So honorable mention here is the DMV area, the District of Columbia, Maryland, Virginia area by Washington, D.C. Honestly, that little pocket is extremely big. It's a big population, but it's actually really tough for wholesaling real estate. That area by Alexandria and just anywhere within like an hour radius from the capital there is just bad for wholesaling. In my opinion, it's just very tough to make a living out there, making 6-7 figures out there. I don't know many people that are doing it, so I would stay clear of that area. Number 10 here, this is Honolulu, Hawaii. One of the most beautiful cities in the entire country, is one of the worst for wholesaling. Unfortunately, that is the truth. If you live in Honolulu, Hawaii, prices are just way too high. And honestly, sellers just want a fortune for their houses. And honestly, it's just like wholesaling in a very expensive market. Probably not the best. There's a lot of wholesalers out there too, which does not help you at all. And honestly, I would just stay clear of that city. Number 9 here is San Diego, California. That is right. Unfortunately, if you're living in San Diego, it's an extremely tough wholesaling market. There are guys that make it work in San Diego, but very few deals in between. They do make 6 figures, but maybe they get like a deal or two every quarter, maybe 2 to 3 deals a year. And honestly, if you slip up once and you don't get that wholesaling deal, you could make no money at all. And these are extremely professional salespeople in wholesaling. These are one of the best salespeople I know that live in San Diego, and they could barely even hit $200,000 a year in profit in that certain area. But those people, they do virtual outside of it and they absolutely destroy it. So San Diego, you can make it work, but it's probably best you don't, especially when you're starting out. Getting some virtual wholesaling, you will thank me later. Number 8 here. This might be shocker why it's so low on my list, but avoid this area, is Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I love Pennsylvania for real estate wholesaling. It's one of the best states for wholesaling real estate. But unfortunately, Philadelphia is one of the worst cities for wholesaling real estate. Recently, Philadelphia has banned wholesaling real estate without a license or without a special $200 permit to wholesale real estate there. Absolutely, I am against that law, but unfortunately, it's passed. It's a thing now, so you can't really even wholesale legally without a license out there, and I'm not going to get in the debate if you should get a license or not for it. I'm not licensed, and I do 7 figures a year in Port St. Lucie, Florida for my wholesaling operation, so take that as you will, but really, Philadelphia is probably not the best place to actually get into wholesaling real estate starting out. If they're already not wanting you to actually get into wholesaling, I probably wouldn't be there too much. Number 7 here is Chicago, Illinois. Chicago is in one of the worst states for wholesaling real estate, which is Illinois. Illinois, basically, you cannot wholesale real estate without a license in Illinois, and honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of it. Probably I would avoid Illinois, but Chicago's in there. I get asked this question a lot. Should I start wholesaling in Chicago? Yes, in Illinois, you can wholesale 1 deal a year. If you're not a licensed realtor, get your license and try to do some Illinois wholesaling. But honestly, Chicago, it's a really big market. A lot of great suburbs out there, but the prices are pretty high, and I would just honestly avoid it. Number 6 here is in my home state, Miami, Florida. I absolutely adore Miami. It's one of my favorite cities in the United States. I'm in Miami at least once a month. I love the city so much. They have my Dolphins. I absolutely love the Miami Dolphins. I watch the Miami Dolphins every Sunday. I love the Dolphins, but unfortunately, Miami, Florida is just, with all their rich culture and a great population, it's not the best for wholesaling. There's not a lot going for you in Miami. A majority of your motivated sellers in Miami will speak Spanish, and I do not speak Spanish at all. I know very little Spanish, and honestly, I am at a disadvantage in that market. Also, it's a huge population. Prices are super high, and honestly, it's very hard to find a 7-figure wholesaler in Miami, Florida. You could probably make it work in Miami-Dade County, Broward County, and especially in Palm Beach. We still do a lot of deals in Palm Beach, but really Miami, Florida as a city, I would just avoid it. Go north into Broward and Palm Beach. It's a lot easier, trust me. Number 5 here is Boston, Massachusetts. Boston, Massachusetts is probably one of the worst wholesaling markets out there. You can do some of the outskirts and make it work, but it's very hard to find a successful wholesale operation in Boston. I would avoid this one. Great city, great people, but for wholesaling real estate, prices are too high. Taxes are out of the wazoo on there. That is a city I would absolutely avoid. Number 4 here is San Francisco. San Francisco, California. This is a really weird one for me because I do know 7-figure wholesalers that are in San Francisco, and I don't know just one. I know multiple 7-figure wholesalers that only do San Francisco and the Bay Area. So why is San Francisco in my no-go list? In my personal opinion, if you're starting out in wholesaling real estate, just avoid that area. These guys making 7 figures, they are doing 6-figure wholesaling deals in San Francisco. That's right. They're making $100,000 to $200,000 on every wholesaling deal in San Francisco. But here's the problem. It takes not years, decades of experience in San Francisco to understand that wholesaling market and know what's really a deal and what's not. A lot of it's crazy land stuff with commercial. It's really when you're starting out in wholesaling real estate, you're just trying to make your first $100,000. Just avoid San Francisco. Oakland's a way better market out east, and you keep going east there by Stockton. A lot better for San Francisco. So I would avoid San Francisco, California, and honestly, that whole Silicon Valley area. Now, if the market starts going crazy and things change, this video is definitely subject to change, but really San Francisco right now, I would absolutely avoid it. Number three here is the birthplace of Starbucks, Seattle, Washington. Seattle is a great city. I've been there multiple times. I absolutely love the city. A little cold, a little chilly, a lot of rain, but honestly, I like Seattle. But unfortunately for wholesaling, Kings County is absolutely atrocious for helping us real estate wholesalers. The county in Seattle, it's almost impossible to pull probates in that county. I've tried it a million times from people that are just trying to get help from me. Probates are very tough there. They make it very tough to get data. And honestly, Seattle, very expensive. It's a very great city, but honestly, just avoid it for wholesaling. It's just take my word for it. It's not the best one out there. Number 2 here is Los Angeles, California. I love Los Angeles, but unfortunately, Los Angeles is not the right city. Not because the LA Lakers beat the Heat in the finals. It's not because of that. I promise you, LA guys. But I'm telling you, LA right now is just really tough for wholesaling real estate. I recommend if you're in Los Angeles, prices are too high. I would get out of it. Go east to the Inland Empire. That is a way better market. You'll have so much more success doing that than going to Los Angeles trying to wholesale $800,000 to $900,000 houses. Number 1 here might be not really much of a shocker for you, but New York City, Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens. It's an extremely tough market. Even in the outskirts there, when it started hitting New Jersey, that whole New York City metro area, I absolutely love New York City, but unfortunately, it's just way too tough to wholesale real estate there, especially starting out. There are some guys there that are doing very well in there, but they're very, very experienced. They have decades and decades of experience, and they know exactly what they're doing. If you're like my age or starting out when I was 17 years old, I would completely avoid New York City. Great cities. I love most cities in the United States, but really New York City, I would cut that out. So this brings me back to the next point here is what should you do if you live in these cities? What is the game plan? Because maybe I just burst your bubble. Maybe you thought Los Angeles was the next hotbed for wholesaling real estate, and it's not. And you might be a little upset at me right now. You might get a little heated. You might get your keyboard right now, and you might start going in the comments like, Zach doesn't know anything. Okay. The reason why I came up with this list was from experience. I run the largest real estate wholesaling mastermind in the United States, Wholesaling Houses for Real. Check out our Facebook group. But seriously, I would absolutely have talked to so many wholesalers. Honestly, these cities are just very tough for it, but they started getting into virtual wholesaling as people, and they've done very well. So if you're in these cities, I do recommend that you get into virtual wholesaling. Try to find some of the best markets out there. My personal belief, get into virtual wholesaling. I recommend the Southeast of the United States or places maybe in the Northeast, maybe places in the Midwest with very low price points. Keep it between $50,000 to $200,000 on the prices of those homes, and you should do very well in wholesaling real estate virtually. A little more of a learning curve, a little tougher with the phone, but you'll get more deals but less margins, but you'll still make a great living in wholesaling real estate doing it virtually. So for virtual wholesaling real estate, what you got to do, remember, figure out what market you want. Start researching it. Use the list source hack. In this video above me is a list source hack where I'll show you exactly how to use that to find the best zip codes for your virtual wholesaling market. They'll help you actually fine tune what you want to do. Next, when you actually start getting into it, you want to find the right marketing. You want to find the best list. And honestly, if you have no money, there's so many free leads you can do. In this video above me, again, is actually showing you how to find free leads for your real estate wholesaling business, especially for your virtual wholesaling ones, so you can have the best chance of getting a wholesaling deal virtually without paying any money. And honestly, you're gonna have a theme here if you watch this YouTube channel, is I do not promote any courses, any gurus, no coaching products at all. I'm just trying to show you how to wholesale real estate absolutely for free. That is my goal here at this channel. So I really appreciate you guys watching this stuff. Sorry if you guys got a little heated. I have no ill will towards Los Angeles or the city of Miami. So guys, don't get upset at me there. But really, in my experience, that is just what I've seen. So I really appreciate you guys watching this stuff. Our subscribers keep growing every single day. I'm in shock of how much support you guys give to me. It means the absolute world to me. Thank you guys so much, and much blessings. Have a great day.